Hello, hello. It's lunch party time. Just see if some people find me. Oh, I see some. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Mine has been busy as always. Jenny, you found me. Hooray! Well, first thing I want to tell you guys is I got a new office chair, so you won't hear it squeaking anymore when I move around. I feel like that was it was a very comfortable chair, but my husband and I were out on the weekend and he thought I needed this new chair. So now I have a new chair. So it doesn't make any noise. It's the little things, right? So we're just going to hang tight here for just a minute and see that everyone can find the video, because sometimes it takes a few minutes for the notifications to go out or for people to refresh their screens and find me, because I want everyone to be able to hear everything from the beginning. It's nice to see a number of you popping in. I know it's kind of the end of the workday, or not quite the end of the workday, and then people are driving home and doing things. But it is the best time of the day for me. So this is when we're going to do it, because you can always watch this on replay. So if you're watching it on replay, hello. What you are looking at is our February calendar series bundle. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the calendar series. We started it in January, obviously, and it was a huge success. We sold out in a couple of days, and we've had people looking for January kits throughout the month. And we obviously sold out. So I am bringing in some materials for just a few more kits for January. So we will post when those are available. So if you did miss out on January, you have a small window of grabbing one. But we did increase our numbers for February and March already. I've designed March, and I'm going to get working on April very soon. But I'm really excited about February. I think January was fabulous. And if I was thinking at all, I could have brought the layout home from the store just to show you again. But it's on display at the store, so I forgot to grab it. But I had so much fun with January. I jumped right into February, and I had a blast making it. So I'm excited to share it with you. But we are using the Photoplay Cupid's Sweetheart collection for February. Now, it is sort of a Valentine's release, but I did not use it as a Valentine's page at all. You will see in a minute, but I did use it to highlight Liam's birthday, because he was born in February and he turned 4. I'm using last year's photos, so it was his 3rd birthday. And then other things throughout the month. And it is not a Valentine's page at all. It is just a love page, and I just am thrilled with how it turned out. But these are the selection of papers that we included in the bundle. So you have 5 sheets of designer paper, plus a sheet of craft cardstock, and then the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So that's what's included in the bundle. The bundle is $14.99, and it will be labeled with a QR code that you will be able to scan with your phone, and it'll bring you right back to this release party video. So you can rewatch it if you want to, and get all the little tips and tricks and go over measurements and things like that. It will also include a 4x6 photo of the finished pages so that you can have that for reference as well. Now, the bundles are going to go on sale when I am done this launch party video, and you can order them, but they will not be available for pickup or shipping until Tuesday next week. So Tuesday, March 7th. Okay, so you can order them, and any add-ons that you want, but they won't ship out until Tuesday. And while we're talking about dates, I just want to remind everyone that we are closed on Friday. No pickups or anything on Friday. I'm going to be sending out an email again tonight. It's posted on our Facebook page every day as a post, plus it's pinned to the top under our March hours. We have some variations in our hours for March, so be sure to check that out. We don't want anyone making wasted trips to the store. There will be no one at the store on Friday. We have a crafty weekend coming up, and all of our staff is attending. So we will not be there for pickups. So yay us and boo you. It's well deserved. We are very excited about going away. We're actually going to Spring House, and that's the retreat place that we have teamed up with, and you can get information on our website about that. But we are going for 4 days, so we're very excited about that. And so there won't be anyone at the store on Friday to greet you for pickups. So make a note in your calendar. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and we're going to bring out the page. Now, I do have the page in an album because I have started an album for my layouts. I'm hoping this is going to fit on the screen. Let's just let my... Okay, let's move it up just a little bit. Let's move my iPad out of the way. I'm just going to move it up. Now, I know you're going to get a bit of a glare with the page sheets, but I wanted to show you how it looks in an album. Okay, so you treat it like you don't have to. You can treat it like a 2-page layout. Okay, and that's what I'm going to be doing with it. So page 1, page 2. So I've left a space here for my January page when I get it from the store. So it's going to go in here. And then at the beginning of my album, I'm going to have to come up with something for a title page. Now, don't quote me. I was just thinking maybe I should do a small bundle and a launch party for that, but I don't have a plan yet. So don't be emailing and asking if you can be on the list for it or whatever, because I don't know when it's going to happen or how, but I'm going to keep that in mind. But I am going to be putting mine in an album. Now, you have other options. So this is what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to take it out of the album because I want to share it without the glare and without the album. But I wanted you to get that idea. Some people, when they came into the store and they saw it displayed, they're like, oh, like it could be like a 2-page layout. And I'm like, well, yes, that's the whole idea. So sometimes the visual is helpful. And yes, I know, Colleen, I know I should and I will. I just don't know when. I have to find the right paper line and figure out what I want to do with that. So yes, here is the 2-page spread for February. Now we're going to go into a little bit of detail here. So obviously page 1 is the calendar portion of the layout design. Now what did I do with that calendar paper I had? Oh, there it is. 1 second. So the calendar part of the bundle is optional. So it's an add-on because not everyone is going to use it as a calendar. Some people just want the single page part of the layout. So, so this part here, they don't need this calendar part. So that is an add-on. So when you purchase your bundle, if you want to be able to do the 2-page layout in your album, you're going to need to purchase one of these blank calendar pages. Okay, so, and the blank calendar pages look like this. It's just a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock with the calendar grid printed on it. So it's completely blank. It's not designed for the month of February. It's just totally blank. You'll use the same thing throughout the whole year. So you can purchase, all 12 of them at once if you want to. You can purchase one at a time, whatever you prefer to do. So it is in the add-on section of the shopping, and that's right on our online store at the top. There's a little graphic there for the calendar series, and when you click on it, you'll go in and you'll see January, and then you'll see February. And if you click on February, you can go through that. So at the end of the video, I'll pull my iPad on here so I can show you how to do that. But so that is an add-on. And this is the single page part over here, and that's the main part that we're using the bundle for. And then of course we move over into this side and pull some of those papers and graphics and everything over there as well. Now, if you do not want to put it in an album and you want to actually create a calendar, We do have calendars. I believe, Shelby, did we get the calendars put into inventory today? I know you've been very busy. And I'm just not sure. I just don't want to tell them if they're there and they're not. Just wait to see what Shelby says. I forgot to grab one of our calendars. Yes, I picked them up. Okay. So we just received our shipment of 12 by 12 calendars, and they are up on our online store. Again, you can go in and type in the word calendar and it's going to pop up there. We have 2 different sizes. Font for journaling. Yes, I'll get to that before. Okay, Karen, hang tight. I will get to I'm going to make myself a note. I don't want to get too distracted here. I forget to tell you stuff. So journaling. Okay, I'll go over that again in a second. Okay, so I did go down into my basement. Oh, you added it to the section. Shelby, you're amazing. So perfect. So the calendar is in there as well. Excellent. So I had calendars in my stash from years and years and years ago, like 15 years ago. So I grabbed one and pulled it up. So our calendars are different than this. This is not exactly like ours, but close enough. So I just wanted to show you. So this is from SRM. We used to get stickers from them, but we don't anymore. So if you get a blank calendar, now ours, again, they don't look like this inside. They're a little bit different, but if you're going to do a calendar, you just take the single page layout that you create and you pop it on the top like so. Okay, so this is the top of your calendar. This is the bottom. And this design here is what you would fill in on this. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that for people. Ours are nicer. You're right, Shelby. They really are. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify with people how they look, and not how they look, how it works if you want to actually use it on a wall calendar. Because some people really want to give these as gifts, or they use them in their own houses and they want them to be able to be displayed. Yeah, so ours doesn't have the note section. It's different than this, and this is a kind of a cream color. Ours are white, etc. But I just wanted to give you the idea. I should have grabbed one from the store, but they weren't there yet. Shelby picked them up this morning. So there's 3 different ways you can use this concept. So single page by itself, put it in your book. Double page layout, put it in your book. You can use the calendar portion, like the top portion here, and attach it to a blank calendar, and you can put it on your wall, give it as a gift, etc. So a lot of versatility within the calendar series idea. And I wanted to do it that way so that people can use it however they want to incorporate it into their scrapbooking. Do you guys see the sunlight coming onto my desk? That's how sunny it is. I always forget this time of day. The sun starts to go down lower and it comes right in this window, which is beautiful when you're in here working, but not so great for videos, but we'll see if it interferes. All right, so now let's get into the details of the page. I did jot down some measurements, and I just realized I forgot one thing. Where's my dots? So that is a 2 by 10. Okay, so I'm going to run through some measurements. Now, again, don't panic about this, because you can come back and re-watch this and pause as you go through to make notes or do your cutting when you're creating your page. And for those of you who are watching, how many of you did the January bundle and have you completed your page? I got an email today from somebody who actually has their page completed. So that's exciting. I like to hear that. The QR code will link you right back. Yep. So the QR code that we're going to put on the bundle bags will link you right back to this video. So don't panic as I'm giving these measurements that you have to scramble and write them down and remember where you put them, because you'll be able to come right back to this video and watch this part. So the first page I'm going to talk about, I don't have my kit yet. March 17th I will. Okay. Haven't started my page yet. Okay, ladies, don't get too far behind. You want to try to keep up with this a little bit. Here I am preaching. For me, I have to keep up because I have to meet deadlines, but I know how easy it is to keep putting it on the back burner and not getting to it. So really challenge yourself to try and and put your kit together, because you will have so much fun. Seriously, I am just having an absolute blast with these things. Yes, Shelby's already got hers packed up and ready to go. Amanda's doing hers this weekend. Excellent. Yeah, so I can watch the girls have their pages come to life. Okay, they're still at the store. Page is not complete, but hope it will be for next January. Okay, girls, you have good intentions. That's good. All right, so this paper here is called Candy Crush. Okay, and it is, it's the one with the candy hearts on one side, and then the pale pink with music notes, and that's the side that we're going to be using for the layout. So you can see that paper is right in the background here. And I've got measurements for that on my sheet. It is 5.5 this way and 6.5 this way. Okay, and obviously music notes are running in this direction. They are faint enough that if you did it wrong, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But that's how we've done that piece. And that's the only thing you're going to cut out of that paper. So you've got lots of extra. Pardon me. And then the next one is called Cupid's Cards. And that is the one with the stripe. But it also has cut aparts. So we're going to be using both sides of the page to create the page that I did. So what you want to do, you're going to be cutting a 4" by 11.5" piece. So that's the piece that runs right down the middle of the page here. And each one of these sections is 4 inches. So I want you to take the top section and cut that off, and you will use that piece to go here. Okay, and that leaves this section and this section available, because what you want to do is the some of these hearts here, I cut out and added to the back of the truck. Okay, and you can pick and choose what you want to cut out, but they went into the back of the truck. And then this piece here, you will forever be my always. That is from this journal card right here. And I'm just going to take a quick measurement of that, just so you know. Basically, you're going to cut off the border of this card, the frame, and you're going to be just using the words. So it's 2.5 inches this way, and about 2 5/8 up and down. Okay, and that's from this journal card right here. And then over on this side of the page, this Loads of Love, that actually comes from right below this truck here. So it's about a 1/2 inch strip, and you're just going to put a V in both ends of it, and you're going to put it on your page over here. Oh, and we're going to use this too. This piece right here. So that's from this journal card here. And again, I'll measure that for you. It's about 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. And that's just so that it'll fit inside of the lines of that grid. So again, depending on if you're working on a calendar, other than this piece here, you may have to measure your squares and sort of see how that fits in for you, but that's the measurements that we use there. So you do use quite a bit of this paper here. Again, stripe out of the top part, okay? And then that leaves these parts here open for other cutting. So that's what we did with that one. Excuse me. And then this one here is called Quilt Top from Cupid. And we are using the dot side of this paper. The other side is this quilted pattern. And we're going to do a few different cuts from this one. The first one being this piece here on the top part of your calendar. And again, if you're not doing this part, that doesn't matter. But it is 2 inches by 10 inches. So 2 by 10. And then the piece over here is 4 inches by 9 inches. And then there is a V in the bottom of one end. And again, how I figure out the V part is I measure and find the center of this strip. So this is, what did I say, 4 inches? So 2 inch mark, I would put a little mark. And then I measured up 1 1/4 inches and put another little mark. And then I cut from the corner up to that mark on each side. And that's kind of how I got my V. So that's how I do it. And that's the measurements I used for that. And then over here, I added some squares to some of the open spots. Now, I won't be doing this every month because I know I didn't do it in March, but I did something else in March. But it's a good way to fill in sort of some empty space if you feel you need to. So I just used the scraps and I filled in those spots there. So that measures 1 1/4 inches by 1 3/8. So it's 1 1/4 this way, and then 1 3/8 this way. And that's what I use to measure my photos too. But you'll notice that on some of mine, I actually went into other squares because it didn't work out for me to trim this photo down any further. I didn't want to cut off Liam's face and I didn't want to cut off the tops of our heads. So I just had that photo just overlap into the square below. I mean, to me, it didn't make any difference. I was happy with how that looked, and it just worked out. And then the rest is just kind of filling in with some of the stickers and stuff. The only other paper that I used to embellish with was this one here. It's called Sweet Sentiments. I love papers like this because it allows you to create these like word strips. So all I did was just picked several that I liked. And, oh, that sun is really kind of interfering, isn't it? Maybe I should close that blind. I hate to block out sunshine, but it's really not working for my video. Let's just see here. Okay, there we go. Oh, we still got a little bit. I guess I gotta close this one too. It's a pretty big window. All right, there we are. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I did. Now you can leave the border on the cutouts if you want to. I took it off. I didn't want them that bulky, so I just took them off and made them into smaller strips. But you have the option of doing either. It doesn't really matter. I just thought they were a bit too wide if I left the border on. So, and that way you can just, there's just tons of them on here. You can choose whatever works for you. So I did the You Make Me Smile, Hugs and Kisses, You Are My Heart, 100% Lovable, Sweetheart, and Love You More. And that really worked for the photos that I used. Some of them on here, I mean, there's more I could have put on, but there are some that say Be My Valentine. Honey, I call my husband Honey all the time. So that would have been a good one if I was doing him and I. But there's lots on here that you can use for different things. So that's that paper. And then the red sheet that is part of the bundle is your background sheet here. And that one, you're just going to cut to 11.5 by 11.5. And then you're going to mount it on top of the craft. Now I'm going to show you a little tip that I do sometimes. Because I'm layering that red sheet on top, so much of the craft cardstock would be wasted. And I mean, I love craft cardstock. I use it all the time. So what I did was I actually cut the center out of it. And then that way, this whole piece that comes out, I'm able to use for other things. So that way you're not wasting a bunch of paper. And I just do like a 1-inch border all the way around and just cut that out. And then that way, when you cover it up, you can't tell the difference. And you still have all that extra craft cardstock to use. So you can do that or not, whatever you feel like doing. But there is a sheet of craft cardstock in there for you to use. Now, I will say, and I'm just going to point out, that I did a little bit of tearing and sanding when I did the red paper, when I mounted it on here. So whenever you're working with designer paper, it will generally have a white core, and that means that you can sand the edges of it and you're going to expose that white core. And then it just kind of defines the edge a little bit, which is, I think it looks cool. And then all I did once I adhered it to the background is I just kind of pulled up a couple of different spots and ripped the paper and just sort of added a little dot of glue to hold it open. And that just gave it a little bit of interest as well. So again, something you can do or not do. That's up to you. And then I'm just going to focus on this page right now. You can see all of the areas where I added some stenciling and some stamping and some splattering to give it more interest. And I did that after I had the general design of my layout planned out. So I had positioned all my papers and everything and kind of knew where my embellishments and stuff were going to go before I added the distressing and stuff to the background. And how I did that was I just marked out with a pencil kind of the areas around where my stuff was going to be, very lightly. And then I removed that, and I was able to then place my stencil and stuff where I wanted it, and then bring it back on. And I often, when I'm creating pages, will take photos of the positioning of stuff, and then I can move it out of the way, do what I need to do. And then as I put it back together, I just refer to that photo that I took so that I knew where everything was positioned. Because I don't know about you guys, but my mind is like a sieve, especially when I'm creating, because it's all over the place. And I'll forget where I put stuff. And then I'll think, oh my gosh, I really liked it the way it was, but I can't remember where it was. So I will often take a photo with my phone when I'm creating things, and that way I know. So I am going to go through a few techniques that I used on this. I did do some stenciling on the layout for January, for the main layout, but on the calendar portion of the page, I had done a little bit of stenciling, and then I think I added like a little bit of darker stenciling over top of the ink blending, and that kind of triggered. I failed to hear the photo sizes you used. I didn't go over that yet, Amanda, but I will. Photos. I'm just going to make a note here so I don't forget. Yeah, so that kind of triggered something in my brain when I was creating January. And then because I worked on February almost right afterwards, I thought, you know what? I really want to incorporate some stamping into my layouts. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of that. The next month, I actually used some texture paste on the page too. So I'm always going to be trying to incorporate different things. There might be some repetitive techniques as the months go on. We all have a style that we tend to gravitate to and a comfort zone. So that's obviously going to come out when I create. But like I said last month, I'm going to, you know, Ali Edwards always picks a word of the year. And I decided that Two Scrapbook Friends word of the year is going to be growth. And I'm going to pass that on to you as customers. And have you grow your scrapbooking style and your scrapbooking adventures, and maybe try things that you didn't try before. But again, you always have the option, because it is your page, to just do the paper crafting part and ignore the stuff I do on the background. You can still create a really great layout without adding all those details. In my opinion, I think the details are really going to elevate your skills and the overall outcome of the layout. But you do you and decide what you like best. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here, and the reason I'm doing that is so that we can focus a little bit more on the details. Okay, and I'm going to, whoops, I just kicked my garbage can. I'm going to pull out a red sheet of paper. Now, I don't have this background sheet because we put all of our paper into the kits. But I have a similar red cardstock. This is a Bo Bunny cardstock, which would be very similar to Color Vibe, and it's red. So I'm just going to show some of the stenciling and stuff, stamping and things on there. It'll give you a very similar effect. All right, so what I did was I used my tried and true brick stencil. I love the brick stencil. I think it works for so many things. I am using the Lawn Fawn brick stencil. That is available in the add-on section. Oh, I better write that note down too so I don't forget to show you that. Yeah, the add-on section of materials. So if you would like to try out this technique and use the brick stencil that we used, by all means, shop away. So I'm not going to position the stenciling exactly how I did on my layout. I'm just demoing the technique so you get an idea of how it works. But like I said before, I kind of positioned all of the papers on my page. I didn't stick them down or anything. And then I just sort of drew light pencil lines sort of around the edges of everything, just so I knew about where those were going to fill in. And that way it gave me a guide as to where to do my stenciling and stamping. So that is very easy to do. And that way it looks like the stenciling is going underneath your papers and stuff too, which I love. Pardon me. Okay. So I used, on this red paper, I used Catherine Pooler's Midnight Black ink. It does come in 2 sizes. I have discovered that this black ink is amazing. If you are looking for a really nice black and to get super duper coverage, definitely take a look at this, because it is really a great black ink. Catherine Pooler inks blend very well. They're super easy to use. And I just love them. So I'm going to pull out my black blending brush, and I'm just going to, I need my stand. I'm just going to blend a section of the stencil, just so you can kind of see how it looks and the technique that I used. I need a piece of paper to brush off on. I'm not using all my regular tools. Okay, so I'm not going to tape the stencil down or anything. I don't think that you really need to when you do this, but if you feel more comfortable doing that, feel free. Now, when you do an area, what I would recommend doing is stenciling sort of, I'll call it normally here, and then stencil lighter and move out a little bit. And so you can see how the brick kind of fades out sort of naturally. You don't want any harsh edges. You just want that nice, even, easy flow. So I'm just going to start out by ink blending in the center of the area that I want, and then I'm going to gradually just kind of go lighter as I move out. And that ink will get picked up. But you can see how it's heavier in one area, and then it kind of like fades out into lighter spots towards the outside. And that is how I have achieved this sort of these brick spots. Now, the next step would be to splatter. Now, that may take just a short while. Is the black ink that Amanda Wolf says is nice and dark? Yes, it is. This is the one, this is our favorite. We've also discovered, and I will be testing out a little bit more of this weekend, that this is a great ink to stamp with if you are using Copic markers. It stamps so beautifully, and you get such black, crisp lines. However, it does tend to stain your stamps. And it also stained my stencil. I'll make another note to share some things at the end, because I don't want to clean it up yet, about how I cleaned this. Because before I came on camera, I thought, oh, wow, that doesn't look very good. I can't use that stencil. And I tried to clean it my normal way, and it just wasn't coming off. So I have another tip. So I will share that with you. But that is the black ink. It is beautiful. If you like the Create in Quads stencils from Tailored, and you want to stencil something in black and have it come out really black, this is the black you want to use. It's phenomenal. So that is a great ink. Okay, so now we've got this spot here, and now we're going to do a little splattering. And you can see how I've added that little bit of splattering. It kind of gives it that like graffiti look, which I kind of like. And we use splatter on a lot of different things. Now I like to use black acrylic paint. You can splatter with all kinds of different stuff, but I find this works very well. And it's one of my favorite things to use. I also have it in white, because if you want white splatter, it's kind of cool to use that too. So the way I go about doing this is, believe it or not, I will grab an acrylic block. Now you can grab like a craft mat or anything that you want, but I find an acrylic block works really well. Better than VersaFine. Well, better than VersaFine. I would never blend with VersaFine. I've never blended with VersaFine before. I like how it stamps sentiments, and you can't use VersaFine if you're using Copic markers, but the Catherine Pooler you can. So is it better than VersaFine? No. Do I love it as much as VersaFine? Yes. But we use it for different things. Not all inks are created equally for the same things, which I've learned. So I just look at the tiny little dot I've put on here, like barely any. So that little bottle of acrylic paint is going to last you a really long time. And again, just like anything else. Not all acrylic paints are created equally as well. You can run to the dollar store and grab acrylic paint, but I'm going to tell you right now, your results are not going to be as nice as this. This is a very nice, thick-bodied acrylic paint. And then I'm going to grab a paintbrush, and in the shopping section, we have uploaded the Ranger brushes. They're very inexpensive, and they have a few different sizes. I use this size a lot. I don't think it has, oh, it's number 4. I think that's what that says. Yep, number 4 in that little set. This is my splatter brush. I use this one almost every time I splatter. And then I have just a little pinch bowl full of water. And I'm going to use that to dilute my my paint. So I just start, I should do this on screen. I just don't want to ruin the paper. I just dab my brush into the water, and then I start diluting the paint. And you really can dilute it as much or as little as you want. If you want splatter, though, you have to dilute it enough that you're going to get enough liquid to splatter. Someone used Hero Arts ink cleaner. Okay, now I will. Okay, so here, look at what I have sitting right here. Well, this is jumping ahead. And I didn't know somebody else used Hero Arts ink cleaner, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. But this is exactly what I'm going to use. This is one of the best ink cleaners, stamp cleaners that they have in the market. I love it. We have a big order in right now with Hero Arts, and that should be coming in our next shipment. So a couple weeks and it'll be back in stock. And then there's a few really cool, really cool accessories that are coming in for stamp cleaning too. So anyway, so now I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to tap it. Okay, so I'm just going to tap it lightly. And you may want to practice on something before you practice on your layout. But you're just going to tap it lightly until you start to see the splatter. But it is not a controlled thing. You'll think the splatter is going to go one place and it shoots off somewhere else. So make sure you clear your desk a little bit because it might go in areas you don't want. I love the way that it looks. So that's kind of, I'm happy with that much splatter. You can splatter as much or as little as you want. And it really doesn't take that long to dry. You can hit it with a heat tool if you want to. And then it will be great. Now, the one thing I will tell you with this paint is you don't want to leave it sitting around too long without cleanup because it will stain and dry on things. So I'm just going to clean off my brush because I don't want it to ruin my brush. And I'm also going to wipe off, like, look at all the paint that I have left on here from that little daub. Now, I would be doing my whole page, but you really do get a lot of mileage out of that. So I'm just going to clean that off and I can clean up that little spot afterwards. So that's kind of how I do my splatter. Now, just for ease, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm just going to blot this off. Oh, that's not bad either. Okay, another quick way to dry is to just blot with a paper towel. If you go straight on and off, it's not so bad. Ideally, you would just like it to sit for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean like go change the load of laundry and fold what's in the dryer and then come back and you'll probably be ready to go. So it's not long at all. Okay, so that's that. And then what I did was after I got my stenciling and my splattering done, I went ahead and I built my layout. Okay, oops, I'm off screen now. Let me get my stuff out of the way. So I went ahead and I built my layout, and then I did my stamping because I can see the areas that I want to add the stamping. So you'll notice here, my XOXO actually goes over top of the pink and onto the red. So it's a good way to have things overlap. So at this point, after you do your stenciling and your splattering, I would go ahead and, stick your papers and everything down. Then you can come in and do, oops, I'm losing a heart. You can come in and do your stamping. I'm just going to add this back on because it popped off. I think I lost a white one too. Well, that's not good. I'll put another one on there. Okay, so we'll just get that on there. All right, so next step is the stamping. So I used a couple different sets to do the stamping. And they are both in the add-on section. There is this set here. This set's very inexpensive. I think it's like $6.99. And I used the heart from it. But the great thing about this stamp is that you get quite a few fun little icons in here. So there's stars, there's an open circle and an open square, a couple of arrows. And then if you do travel layouts, you know, to do a similar type of technique where you do a little bit of stamping, there's an airplane, a car, a globe, a camera. There's a birthday. So if you do like birthday pages or something like that, you get a full set of numbers, and you can use numbers in a lot of great ways to embellish pages as well. And then there's a few different sentiments here. So it says, give it your all, go big or go home, and up and at 'em. So I don't know. I think it's a kind of a fun little set of generic things that you can add to your stash just to be able to do something similar to this. So I'm going to use the heart this time. And then I also had this on my desk at the time. And I used the word love and XOXO. It's actually X heart. And it is a Catherine Pooler set. I did talk about these sentiments when we first got the collection in. There is no die set that goes with this, but these are gorgeous sentiments to include on cards. But I also found that you could totally, get them for scrapbooking too. And they are called Forever Yours Sentiment Stamp Set. And they are from Catherine Pooler. So really great options. If you click on this product on our store, you'll see cards made with these sentiments and stuff on them. And they're really awesome. So I'm going to be using those two right there. So I am going to be working with this Catherine Pooler ink again to do the stamping. And I'm going to do a technique that's called stamping off. And it's kind of cool because I don't always want the stamp to be harsh. Are you talking about, that's a nice size love sentiment for tags instead of the word. Oh yes, this one here, love, and the X heart is awesome too. You can do a lot of great things with it. So I love the set. I love the font. I think it's super fun. So, and I'm a card maker, so I like to be able to have those supplies cross over into my scrapbooking as well. So the other thing that, because you're working right on a layout, unless you have the really large MISTI that holds 12 by 12 paper, you kind of have to hand stamp. And that can be a little bit scary because we're very spoiled with the MISTI in that, you know, if we don't get a good stamp, we can stamp again. But with this, it's kind of like you stamp and hold your breath while you're doing it, hoping that it's going to work out. So it's a little bit scary, but a good set of acrylic blocks is really important. And I did put in that add-on section, there's a little set in there from Hero Arts that has a small little block like this, which is perfect for little stamps like this kind of thing. And when you're working on your layouts, you don't want blocks that are going to be too big. You want something that's small that you can really just kind of line up and it's not going to interfere with other things that you might have on your pages. So I like this size a lot for small stamps. Now, the other size I like is this one here, and this is from Lawn Fawn, I think. Maybe not. There's a round. Oh, here's another one that's very similar in size, because this is the Lawn Fawn one. This is a nice one. There's one smaller than this that is out of stock right now. We are going to be restocking, but this is a nice one too, because if you get into little sentiments, like even I love you, like you could use that stamp on this layout. You want something a little bit bigger because that's not going to fit on something small like this. Okay, so that sort of medium-sized one is good too. So I'm going to use the small one right now for the heart, and I'm going to show you what I mean by stamping off. Now I've just got some scratch paper here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my stamp. I'm going to stamp it on my scratch paper. Then I'm going to come over here and stamp it onto my bricked area. See how it's faded? I'm just going to demo this. If I was to just go straight to paper, I'm going to go close by. And not that you can't have some of these, but you can see how much darker that is. So if you want it to be a little more subtle, stamp off first and then go on. Now it is going to depend on your ink pads too. Catherine Pooler inks are nice and juicy. So they really are, they're really great for getting that perfect stamp right off the pad. So it depends on the look that you want. The fact that it does stamp so bold is actually really good. But if you want that sort of faded look, then just stamp off on something else first and then go ahead and do it. And a combination of the dark to light is good, like I did right here. You can see that I have some dark and then they fade off into light. So I might have gone like in one ink session, I might have stamped 1, 2, 3, so that you get that dark, medium, light sort of feel to it. And then same thing goes for, I'm just going to set that aside. Ooh. The same thing goes for the I Heart You, and I'm going to have to use a different block. That's this one here. I'm just trying to watch for comments too. Which style of block is easier to hold on to, Val? Well, it's personal preference. I like the ones that have the sort of scalloped edges. This one doesn't come like that, but it has little dents in it. I don't find any of them really hard to hold on to. I just, dive in. I'm not too fussy that way. So I'm going to stamp this stamp, and I'm going to just give you an idea of what that sort of two-tone stamping looks like. So that's right off, and then I can go down here and you get sort of that faded look. So, and when you're doing a technique like this, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if it's a little wonky, or it's, faded out in one area and darker in another. Like, don't stress about it too much. It's supposed to be a little distressed looking when you're doing it. But that's kind of the technique that I used when I did the stenciling on this background. So you can see, I've incorporated the love word over here with the X heart, and then up here, the love and X heart again. And then just a smattering of those solid hearts in a few different spots as well. So it really came together nicely, doing the stenciling, the splattering, and then the stamping. So that's how that was created. I'm just going to sort of set these aside here. I'll clean them after. Get rid of my scratch paper. Now I'm going to pull over the calendar part just so you can see. Now what I've done on the calendar portion is, we'll focus on the top part first. I did a little bit of stenciling here. Now I thought with the black ink it would be a little bit too harsh. Because I'm working on white now, not the dark red. So I was a little nervous about that. So what I did was I pulled out my distress ink, not an oxide, just a regular distress ink. And I used pumice stone. And that's what I did the stenciling in for the background. Now you could definitely achieve this look with any light gray. I know Catherine Pooler has a couple of grays. What are they called? Let me grab them. Twilight would be really nice. That's this one here. And we did upload a few different options in that add-on section for you to see. But you want to do the same technique with the stencil here, where you sort of focus here with your darker blending and then let it fade out. And then again, I used the Catherine Pooler ink in black, and I made sure I stamped off first. And then I added some stamping there as well, and also some splattering. I can show you up close. Not a lot, just a little bit to add some detail and sort of tie it in from the other side. And there's the lower section down here in the bottom corner where I did a similar effect as well. So again, I incorporated those different stamps, stenciling, and the splattering. So that's how I brought it over on to page 2. I'm just going to move this up here so you can see the bottom as well. I guess this is page 1, it's not page 2. So pretty easy to do that technique. You want to play around a little bit with the stenciling and stuff. And again, practice on a scrap piece of paper first. Just get a feel for it. And then you can dive in and do it right on your page. It can be a little scary. And like I said, sometimes I hold my breath, but it works out great. Now, the other thing, I did use that pumice stone ink to distress the edges of the lighter patterned paper here. I'm just going to pull this down so you can kind of see the edge there where I've, oops, now I'm really off. Sorry, guys. Just that edge there where you can see where I've done that. And I also did it on the squares that are at the bottom of the calendar page too. Just because they're right on white, it really does sort of, you know, add that extra dimension and depth to the cardstock. I didn't, oops, that's not the right page. Didn't do too much of it on this page just because it was on a darker color, but you could certainly do it on the pages that overlap. This piece here already kind of has some shading on it because of the die cut itself, because it has a frame on it when you look at the paper. So I just sort of continued it all the way around and it worked out quite well. So that's kind of how that goes. Just looking at what my notes say here. So we want to talk about the journaling. So I didn't add journaling on this page at all, but if you want to add journaling, we often use a font called Indie Pimp. So it's INDYPIMP. I didn't name it. And I downloaded it from a website called DaFont. So DAFONT. And there's lots of free fonts on there that you can download. And I use that one. And I think we do it in like a 14 size, I think. But again, you know, print something out, kind of see what you think. You may want it to take up more space than that. And then I cut it out, print it out, and then cut it out on strips of paper. And then you can kind of get this similar idea. But these are word strips, so I didn't do journaling on this one. If you don't want journaling to show on pages like this and you're putting them in an album, you can always do some journaling on just printer paper and print it out. And then you can tuck it in your page protector behind your layout. So sometimes I don't want people to see my words, or I don't have room for my words when I'm done the pages, and it doesn't work with the design. So you can always just print it out and tuck it in behind your page protector, like between your two layouts. And then no one will know it's there until you're gone and they're rooting through the albums and they go, hey, what did Mom have to say? And they can find it. I don't want to clutter up my page with words and journaling and stuff. So, okay. Will you be offering to buy months ahead of time? We will not. Because the price is going to vary each month depending on what we do, and I have no idea what I'm going to do until I do it. So, yeah, I'm not that organized, Julie. If you happen to, miss out on a month or whatever, you know, we'll do our best to try and get more materials. So if you missed out on January, let's say you missed out on January and you really want it, email the store. If we don't hear from you, we assume everybody's got what they need. So if you email us and let us know that you want January, we can see if we can bring even more in. I mean, we brought in a few. January's kind of like done and we're moving on. We did increase our numbers for February. Again, we're feeling this out. We're trying to get an idea of how many we need. We don't know, but if we can get more materials because people need them, we will definitely try and do that. So reach out to us if you miss out and let us know. And that goes for everything, guys. If there's a stamp set that you saw us feature and it's gone, sometimes they sell out like when we do the live. Sometimes they sell out 3-4 weeks later. Sometimes it's a year later. If there's something that you're after, please let us know. We brought in we just ordered last night, Gina Kay's new tropical card kit thing that she's collaborating with ThermoWeb. We're bringing a limited number in. If we don't hear from you, we think we've got enough. And we're hearing from people that it's $40 to ship that kit to you from the US. And you may or may not get nailed with duty. We absorb a lot of those things for you, and we can tell you exactly how much your kit's going to be. And oftentimes we get them faster than customers are getting them from ordering direct. So please reach out to us. We are happy to order things in and keep you stocked with your favorite supplies. But like I said, if we don't hear anything, we don't do anything. But yes, so hopefully we have enough Februaries to supply the demand. But if not, then just reach out to us and we'll see what we can do about getting more materials. So yeah, so that's that, the journaling. So photos, so photo measurements. Again, depending on what you're doing on the calendar side of the paper, if you are working on a calendar or whatever, you will have to do You missed this. What's it called? What are you talking about? You missed what? Oh, the card kit. Val, you'll have to go back on our Facebook page, and we posted information about it. You'll have to go back and check it out. I assume that's what you're talking about, is the card kit. Anyways, the photos over here, I like to have them so that they fit inside the grid lines. So I don't want them to overshoot the grid lines, and I don't want them to be even with the grid lines. So I cut my photos so that they nest inside, and I think it's 1 1/4. Yep, 1 1/4 this way and 1 3/8 up and down. And then sometimes I sand the edges and sometimes I don't. It depends. This time I did not on this side of the page, but I did over here. You can see the edges of those photos are sanded. And I did put sanding blocks in the add-on section as well. So if you want to try that out, it's so fun. I really love how it turns out. And then the photos on this side of the page are 2 inches by 2 inches. And I sort of arranged them in a grid. And these are just a few photos that I snapped really quickly of his 3rd birthday. And I just love all the expressions on his face. I know you probably don't care, but I'm going to bring them up here and show you anyway. But yeah, I mean, the photos are all very similar, and I do have more photos from his birthday, but I just loved how it captured all of his little expressions when he was watching the sparklers on the cake. So I really made the feature of this layout about him because it was his birthday month. And then on this side, I just sort of grabbed a few photos of things that we had done that month. This is the boys waiting for the birthday cake to come out for Liam's birthday. And this is Liam on his tablet, and he's sucking his thumb, which is something that I want to remember. These photos of the deer over here were a snowmobile trip that my husband and I went on, and we got out on the snowmobile one day, and then it rained for the next 2 days straight. And we sat at the Airbnb and did nothing. But this is very fun. And then we did take the boys out on the snowmobile real quick one time. And they're wearing their bike helmets, which I thought was kind of cute. And then just a one-off shot of me and the boys. And then it was Valentine's Day, so I had a picture of my husband and I as well. So that's kind of how I arranged my month. These may or may not have happened on the days that they show. But it just sort of, I just place them wherever they look good. And go from there. And then while I'm talking about this side of the page, I wanted to talk about this stamp set as well. We just got another shipment of these. I know some people passed on it the first month. You're going to regret it because they just look so awesome. I'm going to demo how they work. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper here. This is my scratch paper, but it's a date stamp set. And I just love that you can customize it for the colors each month. So it comes with this little circle. Again, I'm going to use that little set. And this month I used Concord and Ninth Sorbet ink because I thought that matched the line really well. And so in behind you can stamp your little shadow, and then on the top you can stamp your numbers. So it's so easy to do. And again, I just use that little block. And I just ink up the stamp and place it on. And you get that nice little blob. Yep, you don't have to use this exact color. This is, for those that want it, this is the color I used. Shelby just said any pinkish red or coral color will work. And we did upload a few different selections in the add-on spot. So once you do that little blob, take this off, and then you can just grab whatever number you want to use. Now, I do use my VersaFine ink for that. So you just ink it up, and then you just stamp the number right over top. And you, sorry about my head, you get that awesome look. So we did get another shipment of these stamp sets. They're from Simple Stories. And they are available in that add-on section too. And then if you want to, down, like if you can use it for something else, this larger blob here is to go behind the days of the week. And again, we don't really need that for what we're doing, but you might find a way to incorporate that too. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then just to mention the embellishments that I did use on my page. So I added a few of these little polymer hearts and these little round sequins. So they are from Pretty Pink Posh. This is called Sweet Love. And you get, I love this color assortment. It's awesome. But there are black and white hearts in there. So I snagged some from there. And then these are my favorite Gina K. They're called Clear Quartz Solid Sequins. So we have those in the add-on section as well. So that's what I used for those embellishments there. Now, the last thing, okay, I have a note here about photos. I did that add-on. What does the add-on mean? Oh, I'm going to show you the add-on section. And then I wanted to show you about cleaning my stencil. So the Catherine Pooler ink does stain a little bit. The black did. So what I did was I put my stencil on a craft mat. You can use anything really. Like you can put it on another, what do you call it? Microfiber cloth if you want to, but I worked with it on here. And what I did was I used that Hero Arts stamp cleaner because it is good. To clean my stamps, I generally just use the Lawn Fawn chamois and water. And in most situations, that is great. But every once in a while, the ink does start to build up on your stamps and you just need to give them a really good clean. And that's where the stamp cleaner comes in. So I don't use this all the time, but I find it really handy to have. So there are some cleaning brushes coming in with our order from Hero Arts. And that is something that I'm going to be adding to my craft room. And I can't show it to you right now because I don't have it. But I do have something else that is also really great to look for the next time you're at Dollarama. Because it is a very little handy tool. So I'm going to give my stencil a little bit of a spray with this cleaner. And this is the little tool that I picked up one time when I was at Dollarama. I don't know what it's for. It's a face scrubber maybe. It's in the beauty area. And it's silicone. And these little bristles are so soft that I thought to scrub stamps like really quickly, even with water, might be helpful. So this has been sitting on my desk off to the side here as a tool I might use one day. And I haven't got to it yet. So I thought when I sprayed this, I thought, I wonder if I can scrub my stencil. Now, this isn't going to work well for all stencils. It depends how delicate they are. And you don't want to be too rough on it, but it worked amazing. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to rub that cleaner over the stencil. And those soft little bristles are just scrubbing the black right off of it. Like, it is amazing. I had sprayed it with alcohol and cleaned it, and it just didn't do the job. So this worked really well. And now this has a bit of a soapy feel to it. That's why I didn't spray it on a cloth. But I wipe off as much as I can. And see, like, look at the black. It's like coming right off. And it's so awesome. And I even had pixie spray on the back of this stencil from another time I had used it. And it took the residue from that off too, which I was pretty impressed. And then I do my tried and true alcohol spray after that. So that will work for cleaning your... Don't use alcohol spray on your stamps. That's a no-no. But for your stencils, if you have some that have stains on them and you don't like stains, you can definitely get that off. And I mean, I try to take care of my stencils. It doesn't matter to me if they're really stained too badly, but yeah, so now my stencil is perfecto. And yeah, so I just think it's so funny that Melissa mentioned this cleaner and I already had it out to show you that I could clean off my stencil. So ta-da! There's another little tip for you. Now you're all going to be running out looking for these little things at Dollarama because I know you're already buying all the alcohol spray because it works so good. And I love the little bottles that it comes in too, so it works well. So yeah, look for one of these. I don't know exactly what, I think they come in a 2-pack or something, but they're really soft and flexible and they work really well. Okay, so I talked about clean the stencil, the add-ons, the photos, the journaling. I think I covered everything. Does anybody else have any questions before we sign off? Just a reminder, the layouts, the bundles are going to go live. Oh no, that's what I wanted to show you. Is the section in my online store here. I don't have it ready. Let's go to Two Scrapbook Friends. I don't even know if I'm on screen right now. Well, that's not right. That's .com. Okay, let's try again. Two Scrapbook Friends. There we are. And we're going to go to our website here. Okay, let me see if I'm on screen. Okay. Come on. It's thinking. Okay. Just want to see. Oh, look, we're closed. Shelby, are you still at work? Oh, why is it being stubborn? Come on. How about this? Ta-da. Okay, here we go. So go to online store, and then you can see right here, we've got this, am I on screen? Okay, I think so. Calendar series button. You go in there and you can go under February, and you can see all of the add-ons. Oh, there's the, oh, that's not it. That's the custom die cut. Yeah, so there is a custom die cut for the February letters. Just pull that back on here. I forgot to talk about that. For the calendar side of the page. I can't do it one-handed. These letters here. We do offer this in like a die cut pack. So if you want yours to look the same or whatever, we have that. Anyways, these are all the add-on items that I have suggested and talked about in the video. So I talked about a sanding block to sand your photos. There's also the distress sanding discs. So these are a new product. And these go on top of those little ink daubers that we used to use for inking the edges of our papers and all that. They've come out with these little Velcro discs that go on, and they're little sanding discs. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, so you'll find all the fun things in there, and there's different suggestions for gray ink and colors of ink that go well with that stamp set if you don't happen to have the Concord and 9th one, or you need to buy one or whatever. The brushes are on here, the embellishments. I did use Baker's Twine on this tag here, and we sell that in 2-yard lengths if you need that. The stamp sets I used are on here, the brick stencil, our blank calendars, the blank calendar sheet. So everything that you need is showing on there. I gotta get back to my Facebook page here. So that's all available for you to check out if you want to. So that's it. Shelby's gonna pop the bundles up there now, and then they will be available for sale. If you have any questions, email the store. We're happy to answer them. And happy crafting. We'll see you soon. And remember, you cannot pick them up, or they will not be shipped until Tuesday next week. Okay, so don't come running to the store tomorrow to pick them up because they're not there. Okay, talk to you soon.